What's up, Taiwan? I'm Jeremy Olivier with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. President Lai Ching-te continued his series of unity talks over the weekend, emphasizing the people's role in protecting Taiwan's democracy. But opposition parties accuse him of trying to drum up support for the upcoming recall votes. Irene Lin has the story.
向自由行，向民主行。
The power of the people. That was the emphasis of President Lai Ching-te's weekend speeches to the nation and his own Democratic Progressive Party.
那今年2024年的青鸟行动，或者是2025年的大罢免行动，其实都是同样台湾社会珍贵的公民力量，目的是在维护国家秩序，阻止共产党并吞，守护国家。
Lai's mention of the mass recall movement has been a recurring theme in his recent public addresses. The president has planned 10 so-called unity speeches as partisan divide continues to grow due to an unprecedented lawmaker recall movement. So far, at least 24 lawmakers from the opposition Kuomintang are set to face a recall vote in July. In his latest speech, Lai accuses the opposition, which controls the legislature, of violating the Constitution.
当然，咱拢知影。 国内政局上界大挑战的所在，有那是立法院啦。过半数的在野联盟，不只是开会无照议事规则，通过法律违反宪法，更加大大煽动冻结中央政府总预算，影响政府的运作，国家的进步。
The smaller opposition Taiwan People's Party, which has partnered with the KMT on multiple reform bills, says Lai's support for lawmaker recalls has been clear in his unity talks.
过去承诺给台湾人民要推动的改革法案，最后竟然都是在野党我们携手合作把它推动完成的。那至于大罢免，从头到尾本来就是民进党发动的。 柯建铭已经讲得很露骨了，我想赖清德总统终于也不再扭捏作态。
The KMT has also reacted to Lai's unity speech, calling on its supporters to vote no on the recalls.
他一再的说，没有人可以主导大罢免。我想要呼吁所有在前面观看直播的好朋友，我们才真的需要用更大的民意，在7月26号那一天。 用具体的行动出来投下不同意罢免的这个票，我们一定要一起告诉赖清德总统，什么才是真正更大的民意。
With both the ruling and opposition parties gearing up for the recall votes on July 26, the remaining 7 unity speeches will be a true test of Lai's ability to de-escalate the worsening political divide. Joseph Wu and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan and the U.S. have wrapped up a second round of in-person tariff negotiations in Washington, D.C. Vice Premier Zheng Lijun and Chief Trade Negotiator Yang Zhenyi represented Taiwan at the two-day talks, meeting with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. The cabinet praised the progress of discussions, saying the two sides reached consensus on a number of economic and trade issues. Taiwan faces U.S. tariffs of 32% on most of its goods, but economists in Taiwan say the country should be able to negotiate that number down to between 15 and 25%. U.S. President Donald Trump says he won't extend his pause on global tariffs, set to expire on July 9th.
But we're going to be sending letters out starting pretty soon. No, we don't have to meet. We understand. We have all the numbers. Listen. What we're going to do is we're going to send, and we're going to say, congratulations, we're allowing you to shop in the United States of America. You're going to pay a 25% tariff, or a 35%, or 50%, or 10%.
Last week, the White House spokesperson hinted the deadline could be extended. But in an interview with Fox News Channel's Sunday Morning Futures, Trump said he doesn't think he'll need to do so. U.S. trade officials say deals with key partners are almost done, with others expected to be complete by early September. Hong Kong's last major pro-democracy party is disbanding. The group cited heavy political pressure in the city where democracy movements have been stifled by national security laws. Tiffany Wong reports.
零化非灰，
零化非灰，
不作浮塵，
不作浮塵，
沒有抗爭，
沒有抗爭，
哪有改變？
哪有改變？
A farewell for Hong Kong's last active major pro-democracy party. The chair of the League of Social Democrats announces the end of a key symbol of Hong Kong's democracy movement, the latest to be shuttered due to China's increasing control of the city.
Struggling forward through hardships for the last few years, we have now reached the end of the road. The path ahead is fraught with difficulties. As an organization, the League of Social Democrats must bow out from the stage of Hong Kong's social movement history.
The League is the third major opposition party to shut down in Hong Kong in the past 2 years. Pro-democracy activity in the city has been stifled since a national security law was imposed by Beijing in 2020 after large-scale anti-government protests. Those rules were expanded last year, spurring fears for the safety of party members. The League of Social Democrats was founded by Chan's husband, former lawmaker Leung Kwok-hung, in 2006. The party was known for its radical pro-democracy views and aggressive tactics. Last year, Leung was sentenced to almost 7 years in prison as part of a trial of 47 pro-democracy advocates under national security law charges. As the party officially disbands, the prospect of democracy in Hong Kong dims. Scott Huang and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
For more on what's happened in the 5 years under the national security law and the League of Social Democrats disbanding, Ellie McDonald spoke to Michael Mo, a former district councillor in Hong Kong.
Michael, can you talk a little bit about the importance of the Social Democrats and what this party meant to Hong Kongers?
So the League of Social Democrats is launched back in 2006. It was the time which the Hong Kong pro-democracy movement, shortly after they launched a 500,000 turnout of a large-scale protest against the Article 23, the very first national security law legislation. And their positioning is also unique, pretty much filling up the political spectrum that is actually vacant back in that time, namely economically left, radical street actions, and also legal front to challenge draconian laws that is being left out by the British and being picked up by Beijing to harass or intimidate any democracy campaigners back in the time.
So why have the Social Democrats decided to disband 19 years after their founding?
I think one of the reasons is that they are still one of the few pro-democracy parties, which is of course being ousted from any form of participation in politics in Hong Kong, are still demonstrating on the streets, whether it is like a few people having a street fundraising stores or having a petition at the government headquarters. They're still looking defiant. Having said that, it also caught the attention of the Hong Kong authorities and pro-Beijing pretty much informers' eyes and informed them. And I think this is one of the reasons they've been notified that some of the speech in the recent years in those like street canvassing or outside of the government headquarters were actually touch or cross the so-called red line, and then facing these immense pressure from the Hong Kong authorities, I think this is why they pretty much disband at this point of time.
In light of many of the pro-democracy parties in Hong Kong disbanding, can you reflect a little bit upon the national security law 5 years on?
So since the national security law enacted in 2020 effectively bypassed the city's legislature, the Hong Kong authorities pretty much use the power they're pretty much being authorized to, whether one was said is illegal or not, to harass, intimidate, arrest, prosecute pro-democracy campaigners, lawmakers all over the place. And And also, so in the first few years, we've seen that the Hong Kong authorities really ran after the high-profile activists, and also those for democracy district councillors as well, myself included. So during the first few years, we've seen over 75 political parties, civil society groups, media, including Apple Daily, and labor unions disbanded or ordered to be disbanded. So it's already been a very dire scene ever since.
What lessons are there in this for Taiwan?
So I think to the world, not only Taiwan, it shows that if the Beijing took over a sovereignty of a certain place, they would go wherever they like to make a firm grip on this place, and there's no respect of whatever rule of law, democracy, freedoms, all the things that they guaranteed before they take over the sovereignty. So I think it's particular profound lesson to Taiwan is that whatever Beijing promised to them, it seems they would pretty much default it by default.
That was former Hong Kong District Councillor Michael Mo. In Thailand, park officials are hoping to restore the country's tiger population by releasing prey animals into the wild. The aim is to heal a damaged ecosystem. John Van Trieste reports.
A lone tiger approaches a camera trap in the jungles of western Thailand, slowly prowling through the understory. It's a special moment caught on video, and one much more common than it used to be. In 2007, there were just around 40 of these big cats left here in the Western Forest Complex near the Myanmar border. But a joint project by Thailand's government and the World Wildlife Fund has slowly turned things around. Now there are about 200. Conservationists are thrilled. It's a rare bright spot in a part of the world where tiger numbers have collapsed.
Thailand's tiger recovery is extraordinary. It's extraordinary in the context of Southeast Asia. No other Southeast Asia country has an increasing tiger population.
And this is one of the secrets of the program's success, the sambar deer. These are native prey and great tiger food, but they've been in decline like the tigers. So, 5 years ago, the program started releasing captive deer back into the wild.
Previously, the tigers and the sambar deer both disappeared from here. If some animals disappear from the food chain, it will cause the ecosystem in that area to be incomplete. We consider what we're doing a very good activity.
But while some of these deer will end up as a tiger's meal, conservationists say they've shown themselves adaptable and resilient, and even able to thrive. Most go on to reproduce, bringing a second species back from the brink.
The purpose of releasing sambar deer is not solely to serve as prey to predatory animals, but because the population was small, we wanted to preserve the species of deer to have a higher population first.
This kind of eco-initiative isn't exactly new. Prey release projects have been going on in Africa for years. But for Southeast Asia, this tiger and deer project is a starting point. As tigers settle permanently in this corner of Thailand, other release programs are starting in neighboring Cambodia and Malaysia, bringing species and ecosystems out of decline in a region that's seen its fair share of ecological destruction. Luffy Lee and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Grab our app on your mobile device to get more of our news reports and programs on the go. Finally, we leave you with images of the Summer Swag Festival in South Korea, held by Gangnam Style singer Psy. I'm Jeremy Olivier. Take care and see you next time.